Yes, what you heard there was a barrage of bullets, countless bullets flying near Southern California freeway just off of the shoulder there. This all started on Monday when an Amber Alert went out for a 15-year-old girl who was apparently abducted by her father. And it ended on Tuesday, on that day, with that same girl, victim potentially of that Amber report, being killed. Here's that Amber Alert. San Bernardino, Riverside, Kern, and Los Angeles counties were all put on notice about this particular, this duo, this father and his daughter, who he had apparently abducted. There's crazy details behind this. In fact, the police there that were involved in this whole thing had to answer some questions, and I still had a few more. Let's let them start explaining what they say happened.
Several jurisdictions at this time are involved in the pursuit, and the deputies attempt to contain the suspect in the triangle that's made by the off-ramp, the I-15 freeway, and the Main Street bridge that goes over the top. As a result of that, a firefight ensues. During that firefight, the suspect vehicle comes to rest, at which time a subject exits the passenger side of the vehicle wearing tactical gear. That subject starts to run towards sheriff's deputies, and during the gunfire goes down. And we believe that both the suspect in the vehicle and the person that's contacted with the tactical gear, that person is our 15-year-old juvenile, Savannah. But as the deputies go up and render medical aid and realize that this is Savannah in the tactical gear, they immediately transport her to a local area hospital. At 11:52 hours, Savannah is pronounced deceased.
So as they pulled over, quick recap of what he said there. Someone jumped out of the pickup truck, which they were pursuing, which they knew held Anthony Graziano and his daughter Savannah. And someone just popped out with tactical gear and a helmet on. That was Savannah, which they found out later after she was shot and killed in the middle as she ran towards police officers. Was killed there. So that's part of the explanation, but I'm gonna need some more, and it gets more puzzling. Watch more of this press conference.
Recount again how the girl wound up being in the way of the bullets.
Well, a subject that entered, we did not knowing it was a girl initially, was wearing tactical gear. This is in the middle of a firefight.
Right, shooting back and forth with the with Mr. Graziano, and she's in the middle of that. Right.
There may preliminarily, again, there may be some indications that the passenger of the vehicle, which we believe is Savannah, may have been also involved in some of the fire exchange.
What do you mean by that? What information do you have on that?
There may be some information that the passenger was involved in firing back at the deputies, and we're still trying to confirm that at this point.
You believe it's true?
We don't know. It is so early in this investigation, folks. This is highly complex.
The person wearing the tactical gear that was coming at deputies, did they have a weapon on them?
At this time, I don't have that information. I'm not sure. We're still reviewing the entire scene.
Multiple weapons inside the car with the suspect who died, I take it?
The only weapon that we're able to confirm right now is a rifle taken from the suspect vehicle.
Okay, so now 15-year-old girl runs towards police officers with tactical gear on, his shot. And now potentially she's one of the folks that was shooting from the car, not just her dad, according to this this press conference here from the police there. She was potentially part of the shooting at police, even though she's the Amber Alert victim, and then ran towards the cops. They did not find a gun on her. They found one gun inside the cabin next to her father, who was shooting, obviously, as well. There's a lot going on. First off, there's Anthony, and also let's look at his closer pictures of the two of them, Anthony, and then also his daughter Savannah. This went from, first of all, the Amber Alert happened in the morning after Anthony killed his estranged wife, her mother. Then they took off on this whole pursuit for a day. It's crazy stuff, Ben, and I'm still wondering where the answers are. That particular sheriff there said that they need at least 24 hours to get some answers going. This was on Wednesday, about midday, they had the press conference. And here it is the next day. I mean, I don't want to be too impatient, but I wonder what really happened.
Yeah, this is a weird story. I mean, there's even some out there saying that perhaps crazily and tragically, her father could have been the one who shot her as she was running towards the police, which also makes a bit of logistical sense because she was wearing tactical gear from the front, you know, like an armor shield in the front and a helmet, and not in the back. And so it's just a wild story, and a old-fashioned Wild West gunfight happening in modern life. I mean, it's just a weird, crazy, tragic situation, and details certainly will be coming out. But what a tragic story all around.
It's weird because I will look to more details because I try to check each morning to see what they've discovered or figured out or are willing to tell people. I'm sure there's got to be some body cam evidence coming, maybe some dash cam things coming as well. But I just want to give you guys a couple more of the details because again, her mother ended up dying, and there's also a son, a boy in this entire family that he wasn't around when it happened, when at least the confrontation with Anthony and his estranged wife all went down. So he's like the surviving member of the family, which is another sad part about this whole thing. But really fast, you guys, because the day before, the California Highway Patrol released an Amber Alert declaring that the girl, Savannah Graziano, to be missing. It described her as 5'2" with brown hair and brown eyes, and her father, Anthony Graziano, John Graziano, who's 45, as armed and dangerous. I remember looking at the report, he's 5'5" or something. So I'm trying to see if they thought the person running towards them was Anthony. I don't know what the vantage point these folks had, but again, if you think about that first video we saw, there was several sets of dozens of bullets that were fired from back and forth. They think they said it was an AR style rifle he had in the car and all that. But he killed his ex-wife or his wife out in front of an elementary school, and that's when the whole thing went into motion. I hope there's some answers here. People are speculating already because there's a lack of trust for the police. People are speculating already that something went haywire with their approach, their shooting, maybe they're panicking it, and they were the ones who killed her. Those answers I'm still looking for. So I don't want to jump to conclusions on that, especially since there was a barrage of gunfire. But every time we see these Amber Alerts, it's like hearing a car alarm go off, Ben. You go, somebody turn that thing off. And we forget sometimes there's some serious things behind these. And when people find these folks, a lot of times it's, we went out with their dad and their estranged wife and we got the kid back. It usually doesn't end like this.
Yeah. I mean, this is just such a complex story. It's hard to know, and it's like you say, it's hard to give the police the benefit of the doubt on account of how much shadiness happens these days. But maybe to some degree in stories like this, we should just maintain the perspective that we, as of now, don't know what side is at fault. Sadly, there's plenty of stories where the police clearly did not act correctly in the midst of a firefight when bullets are coming at you and someone's coming running at you with a helmet and tactical gear. It seems understandable that you might not know what's going on, and you do have to return fire if fire's coming at you. So we'll see. The crazy part is what'll come out is we're gonna find out whether the daughter was in on it and was part of the people shooting at the car, as police have indicated might be, or whether her father just kind of forced her to do that and said, you get shot in this car, you go running out towards police, and just a really sick individual. We don't know. It's also, granted, it had just happened, but it's frustrating that the person that the police sent out there didn't seem to know very much. He came out there and just didn't really have any answers. We don't know how many shots, who did it, where it came from, what the story was. So maybe send somebody out there that knows more of the details would be helpful in the future.
Hopefully they'll figure this out. I'm gonna keep an eye on it because it was devastating. It's kind of stuck with me.